People will create chaos in their own life so that they can become the victim of that chaos and then the survivor of that chaos. And so now they have a storyline. Now they have a testimony. Now they feel validated. Some people only find validation in victimhood, so they victimize themselves. And if you are in close proximity to them, you will either also become a victim or you will become the villain. If they are desperate enough for victimhood, they will absolutely make you the villain. And I'm not saying that these people don't deserve love and care and community in relationships. However, you have to be very, very mindful of these types of people in your life. If they are always the victim and you are watching them create chaos, stir pots, and then suddenly they're the victim, suddenly they're the survivor and the superhero in this same story that they created from the ground up, you need to be watchful.
Hey ladies, so people like this have serious mental issues. I really genuinely feel like people who break things purposely and then fix them for outward validation are a little unhinged. Because why are you openly and willfully fabricating chaos in your own life, girl? Like, you can't be that desperate to be the main character or to have people around you's attention or to feel important. The amount of people that I know who have personally victimized themselves when they could have done everything to remove themselves from a toxic situation, they chose to wallow in chaos and confusion. And you know, when we talk about chaos and confusion spiritually, the Bible literally says the master of chaos and confusion is Satan. So if we want to be technical, if you dwell in chaos and confusion, who are you working with? Who are you being run by? Because to me, that screams that, you know, you don't feel good about yourself. You don't feel secure in self. You don't feel adequate unless you can prop yourself up as a victim so that you have some type of sob story. I have gone through the worst traumas in my life, but I've never tried to position myself as a victim in public or to the people around me. I'm always positioning myself as an overcomer. And there's a huge difference between positioning yourself as a victim and positioning yourself as an overcomer. People who create issues and solve them themselves to look like they are heroes or victims that triumphed over something, you know, they always carry this energy of low vibration, you know, of needing outward validation, of needing people to be sorry for them, of needing people to extend certain privileges to them that they don't necessarily deserve or they won't value because they're going to break something and fix it a couple days from now, you know? They don't actually honor or appreciate people helping them get out of certain situations or providing resources because, again, this is what they do to maintain an image of being a victim and being someone who was able to pull themselves out of something that was extremely traumatic and horrible, but for the gratification of people around them. The other end of that would be people who are overcomers. People who are overcomers do not sit around and look for validation or security from other people when it comes to what they've been through. A lot of times people who are overcomers keep their traumas to themselves. Of course, if you have a platform and you're helping people, that's different. But I'm talking about in your everyday life, you know, at work, with your friends, with your family. If you constantly lead with your trauma, if you constantly lead with, some sob story that you're going through, and you're constantly looking for someone to pat you on the back or console you or give you solutions, even though you have the solution because you created the problem, you are not an overcomer, you are a victim. Overcomers keep a lot of that stuff to themselves. They're very private people. A lot of overcomers are navigating pain by themselves, so they are hurting behind closed doors. And that's something that I resonate with so deeply, and I have tried to work on over the years, is being more vulnerable with people when I am going through something, because I like to go through my pain by myself. I don't like to bring other people into it. I don't like other people knowing my business or knowing, you know, my weaknesses or where I'm struggling at. I like to just smile for the public and cry in private, you know? That's just the kind of person I am. But I also am a person that does not create chaos around me. We all can think of one person in our life, okay? Let's do it. Let's do an exercise. Let's all think about one or two people in our lives who we know. This could be family, this could be a friend, this could be a coworker, an acquaintance, a classmate, anyone you may know who has been in a toxic situation. This could be with friends, this could be with a man, whatever. And you've sat there with this girl or this guy, and you've given them advice. You've been a shoulder to cry on. You have provided solutions. You have tried to provide resources. You have tried to help this person get out of what they're going through. And you realize shortly after that they're going to go back to the friendship. They're going to go back to the toxic friend that, they're frenemies with, or they stay with the man that's knocking her between a washer and a dryer. We can all think of someone, I'm sure, who does not listen when we give them solutions. And you want to know why? It's not because they're stupid or they're slow or anything like that. It's because they have already come up with a solution, but they are actively choosing not to initiate it. They're actively choosing to stay stuck and to stay hurt and to stay traumatized and to stay a victim. Why? Because it gives their life purpose and meaning. They can sit on the phone and talk to their funky ass friends who would sit there and listen for hours that their other friends have tried to help them with. But no, it is more exciting and it is more fulfilling for these people to sit on the phone for hours and talk crap and gossip about whoever they're, having a falling out with or whoever's hurting them, because it brings excitement to their life to be able to sit on the phone for hours and gossip about the same topic all day. They're the main character every time they pick up the phone. Of course, they're going to always have something going on so that they can seem important. Am I opening some people's eyes today? Let me know in the comments, because I'm even opening my eyes as I'm saying this, like in real time. They sit on the phone and yap to you about the same things, the same trouble they're going through, the same trauma they're experiencing, the same nonsense, because they get to be the main character when they talk to you. They know that because they are in a constant state of trauma and chaos, whenever you call them or they call you, it's never going to be about, how you're doing and what you have going on and how they can support you. It's always going to be about them. And this is how narcissists and sociopaths get over on their friends. This is how narcissists and sociopaths use their family and their friends, because they can be the main character. They can use people's sympathy and people's empathy to their benefit. They know that people are going to be sorry for them if they call them crying, talking about how, this and that and the other. Even though they're not doing anything to get themselves out of the situation, they want to call you and talk to you and talk your head off all day about the same things that they're creating. When you gave them the solution as to how to get out of something, you gave them the solution as to how to overcome something. But they don't want to be overcomers. They want to be victims, because victims get all the attention from their friends and family, from sorry men that want to, try to come in and save the day. But she's not going to leave the person who is toxic. She's not going to leave the toxic friendship group. She's not going to stop creating chaos if it means that someone's going to feel sorry for her, give her money, sit there on the phone and talk to her all day, and give her attention that she wouldn't get otherwise. Am I making sense, ladies? I hope I am. I don't have time for victims, which is why I've had to separate myself from a close family friend. She's basically family, but I've had to kind of distance myself from her over the past year, because I realized that she wasn't looking for solutions. She was looking for someone to feel bad for her and someone who she can use as an outlet to get energy from. And because their life is always chaotic, everything is always about them. So they never have the capacity to talk about you, your successes and wins, what's going on with you. If you're struggling with something, even if you do bring it up, they will have a hard time staying on the topic of you, and it'll quickly go back to their life, what they're going through, and all about them. So ladies, drop down in the comments section. Let me know your thoughts down below. I'll also be leaving my email in the description box so you can share your stories with me there as well. Have a lovely day, ladies.